referring
Let me just, for the third time,
Western
read what you said. The immigration ploy is not about jobs or terrorism, but about angry whites. You're saying they're racist. It's not about jobs or terrorism. They're pretending it is. And I'm asking you, do you have evidence for that? Or are you just dismissing them as bigots because you can't imagine another explanation?
No, I assume that people are rational, and that, I guess, was a big mistake for this election. It's not
no, you're
rational
you're
to
claiming
say
they're
that
irrational, actually.
I'm claiming that they're just wrong, and that Donald Trump did a very good job of perpetuating the myth that they're wrong.
No, you're claiming that they're immoral. You're saying they're racist. That's not wrong. You're saying they're bad people. It's about angry whites who think the country is changing. Okay, so here's my point to you. Why would you write something like that in a newspaper without having any fact to back it up? Unless you somehow have access to the inner thoughts of Trump voters, why would you imagine you know their motives? That's my question.
We have lots of facts. In fact, people have written entire books this year. There's sociological
So what are your facts?
analysis.
I'm giving you a chance to present them.
All right. There are a lot of Trump voters who have very negative feelings towards African Americans and towards
What does that have to do with immigration, Jen? Let's stick to the topic here.
Can I finish the point?
I wish you would.
Can I finish the point? They have negative views about various minority groups. We also know that the average Trump voter is not affected by immigration and displacement. They're about $72,000 a year in the economic strain, so that's pretty good for them.
So they're not. You think that's pretty good? Is that what you make? You think that that's enough for people to make, that they're not affected by immigration?
It's much higher. It's much higher than the average American. So it's not the people
so they've
who are
got no
hurting
cause
the most.
for complaint.
It is also happening in areas in which the influx of minorities has been the fastest and the heaviest. In other words, white areas of the Midwest who have had an influx of people, and
here's my point to you. Look, you're making a very serious charge. I think this is an interesting debate. There are two sides to it, two legitimate sides. But before you call people racist, you better have some real evidence, and you don't. And I just ask you to marshal it, and you don't have it. No, you don't.
That's not true.
You don't know their motives. You can't know their motives. So how about don't speculate on them?
So Tucker has a article that she wrote, and he's asking her a question about something she wrote. So he read it to her, and he read the part where it says something about like immigration ploy. She wrote, immigration ploy is not about jobs. It's not about terrorism. She said it's about angry white people and how racist they are. And Tucker's like, well, you know, why would you say that? The article has no proof that of what you're saying. Where's the proof? And she just skirts around the answer. She's not giving Tucker any proof, and Tucker keeps on asking her for proof, and she's just not giving it to him, of course. Then she finally says, she goes, well, there's a lot of Trump voters who have negative feelings against African Americans. And then Tucker stopped her and said, wait a minute, we're talking about immigration. Now, that got me so mad when she said that there are, you know, a lot of Trump voters who have negative feelings against African Americans, because that's where liberals go. When they're not able to win a conversation, they either attack you by calling you racist or calling you something that shuts you up, as I've mentioned before, or they will give an opinion that white people have negative feelings, or in this case, negative feelings against African Americans. They always want to put African Americans in a position looking like victims, and how saying that people are racist to them, which only keeps that alive. It only keeps it fuming. It only keeps it going. But they say this with no proof. So Tucker's like, wait a minute. He stops her and says, we're talking about immigration. You know, why is she inserting anything about African Americans? We're not talking about that. So then she goes into saying, well, she goes, average Trump voters is not affected by immigration because and displacement because I guess the average money that they make. And one thing I say to her on that is like, where's the proof? You know, again, she continues to give her opinion about it, but she's not giving proof about it, which is just, it's very frustrating and ridiculous.